Welcome to another edition of Around Town, where we focus in on the people and places that affect your community. I'm Larry Seaman, your host, and today we're visiting WLVI WB56. That's right, we're in Boston, Massachusetts today, and we're going to try to get some interviews and, of course, some looks into the studio. WLVI was founded in 1966 as an independent television station. As we make our way through the set of WB56 News at 10, I'd like to talk a little bit about our first interview. It's with WB56 News co-anchor Frank Malicote. He's a resident of Salem, New Hampshire, by the way, and an active participant. He has worked closely with Make-A-Wish Foundation, Special Olympics, the Jimmy Fund, Boys Girls Club, and other nonprofit organizations. So let's meet Frank Malicote at the news desk. Tell us a little bit about how you got here and some of your background.
Well, I'm originally from California, grew up in the Bay Area, went to school at Berkeley. Got out of school, moved up to Lake Tahoe for a couple of years to pluck a few wild hairs and ski. And I remember my dad coming up to me when I was 25, and he said, "You know something, son? You are a great bartender." Right. I said, "Well, thanks, Dad." And he said, "You know what? In 10 years, I hope I don't have to say that." And I said, "Okay, I got the message." And with that, I always wanted to get into television, sportscasting primarily, although I'm in news now. And it took a while. It's tough to get your foot in the door, but eventually, after a lot of persistence and a lot of slam doors in my face, I got my first job in Eureka, California, which would make Salem, New Hampshire look like New York City. It's a pretty small community of lumberjacking and boating, or it's right on the coast, so fishing and lumberjacking, a lot of redwoods up there, that kind of thing, 300 miles north of San Francisco. And after about 13 months, I finally had kind of grown a little bit, enough to have someone notice me, and I'd sent a tape through a friend out to Manchester, New Hampshire, and news director liked me, called me, flew me out, and got hired. And before you know it, a month later, I was living in Manchester. Worked at MUR for 5 years. And through that, which was great, because working up at Channel 9 years ago, it's gotten much better now, but years ago it was quite the stepping stone to go to a bigger market, and especially for a sports guy, because you could come down, cover the Celtics, the Bruins, and the Red Sox, but still, cover Manchester West and Pinkerton and all the other teams up there, UNH. And I got good enough to come down here. Was the weekend sports guy down here from 91 until 1996. And in 97, I became the lead anchor at the Fox station in Detroit. And then I came back after a year out there as the lead sports guy here, did that for 3 years until they asked me to morph into news. They wanted me to anchor their morning show. And they decided that they wanted me to stay in news. They made me the weekend anchor after Jack Hines retired. And shortly after that, about 8 months on the anchor desk, Jeff Barnes left, got a job in Baltimore, and I got promoted to lead anchor in January of 2003.
Do you miss California?
Sure, yeah. My parents, brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, everyone's out there. I thought for sure I'd come to MUR, work a couple of years, and go home. And I think the first year, that was kind of my premise. That was all I did was work. 6 days a week, work, get good, get out of here. I want to go home. And then I met a gal and got married in 91. And somewhere along the way, I decided, you know what, if I'm going to be in the community, I got to be a part of the community. And I think once I made that commitment and started to explore New Hampshire and New England, I really fell in love with it. But a general day for me, I'm in it. I leave home at 2:30. I'm in here about 3:15. We have a meeting. We'll sit down for half an hour, find out, what's happened today, where are we going tonight, who's covering this, who's covering that, what did we get in today, and we kind of build the newscast together. The anchors, the reporters go out. Karen and I will sit down, go through the rundowns, find out what we're doing, what we just decided to do, watch the other shows to, glean a little more information, read a little bit, go on the internet, write a little, take a little break at 7 o'clock, maybe catch an inning of the Red Sox game on TV, grab a bite to eat, and 8 o'clock, sit down, start reading scripts, write a little bit.
Our next interview is with Karen Marinella, who is also a primary news anchor at the station. Karen Marinella, it's very good to see you.
Nice to see you. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. What are your favorite stories that you've done?
So many. I really love when you can help someone, particularly children. That makes me feel very gratified in this job. It is a very, sometimes we don't know it and take it for granted. It's a very powerful forum here, and on that rare occasion that you reach out and you can make a difference in the life of a child, a sick child who needs donations, a family who's in need of some sort, that really makes a difference to me, and it really has an impact on me. I love being able to use this position to help, and when that happens, there isn't a better feeling in the world.
What kind of advice do you give students of broadcasting? What should they be looking forward to, and what some of the traps?
You know what I tell everyone? Read. Please read. So many young people think that they're just going to come and put on some makeup and put on some nice clothes and get their hair done and go on TV. But I think, and I really firmly believe, there's so much more than that. I'm a personal believer in reading and listening to everything you can get your hands on. Pop culture, political, science, anything like that. I read such an amazing variety of stuff all the time because I think you need to be up to date. You need to know what the world is talking about. You need to be well-versed in a little bit of everything. So I tell them read newspapers, read magazines, read fiction, read popular fiction now. Find out what's going on in the world. What are people talking about? You need to know through all the generations.
Get it either. I don't need it. I'm going without it. 1 minute. Minute. 3, 2, 1. Play a sound.
Now.
Hurricane Dennis roars through the Gulf Coast, packing a punch, leaving a mess behind. We're live.
A local mom goes shopping and leaves her kids alone in a hot car here in this small parking lot. Tonight, find out what happened to her children and what police plan on doing.
Yeah, why?
It was back to summer today with plenty of sunshine, but will it last? I'll let you know.
Baseball World Series champions and a couple from Malden. What do these folks have in common? We'll give you a hint. It's got a nice ring to it.
Wait till outside.
Karen Marinella, Frank Malicote, Mike Welcome, and Mike Routine. The 10 o'clock news on Boston's WB56.
Live in Pensacola, Florida. She's following the storm and has the very latest for us tonight. Kimberly?